Hey y'all, it's me, Miss Smith. I am gonna show you a couple more things about how class is gonna go. You already have this written down, so you may be familiar with the information, but some people like to hear it explained, so I'm gonna do a little bit of a voiceover with this PowerPoint because I feel like having at least one thing from our former lives as normal people who could go outside will be comforting. So, basically, I'm just going to go over the new course schedule right now. It's on Blackboard. Readings will be on Blackboard when I get the time to scan them. I do have a scanner at home, fortunately, but it takes just decades to scan something. So it'll be a minute, but I'll have them up well before your work is due. You can fully ignore the old syllabus except for obviously the policies about disability accommodation, counseling, all of that still applies, but don't worry about what readings used to be on the syllabus. We just don't need to be doing that. So only look at the new thing, which I'm going to show you now. Here it is. At the top, I've got this short list of dates. The new due date for ILP4 is in about 10 days at time of recording. Your new research paper due date is in a month on April 20th. The public turn due date, which I haven't assigned yet, so if you don't know what that is, don't panic. That's April 29th, so the day our portfolio is due. And then revisions for the portfolio, as I told you earlier, they were going to be required. Everybody had to do revisions, but now they're going to be optional. So if you didn't like one of your grades, you can revise for a higher grade. Let's see what the rest of it is. Okay, so here's my little note, you guys. I wrote this. Should make sense. So basically, I want you to see right here in the middle of this list, this is what you have to do to get an A now. So you need to turn in these things, do the readings, watch my lectures, and do the weekly activity if there is one. And that's it. So I'm still, because I don't actually like the idea of free A's because I'm afraid you won't learn anything. I am going to put an A in your records to go to your transcript if you turn in all of these things and complete them and don't cheat, etc., etc. But I'm also going to still do my job and grade it so that you have a chance to learn. So our agreement here is basically going to be, yes, because of these very difficult circumstances, I will be giving you an A for the course, but you still will know what grade your work earned, and hopefully that way you can still learn something. We're not going to have virtual meetings at class time, although I am going to be holding virtual office hours at class time, which means I'll be available if you want to talk through Skype, Google Hangouts, or just have an email answered really quickly. But I know you guys are basically scattered across the country right now, so there's no reason for me to try to get you to all sit down from 3:55 to 5:10 on Mondays and Wednesdays to do a Zoom call with your, unreliable Wi-Fi and general confusion. Also, I don't want to try to get 24 people organized to do that, so we're just not doing it. I'm going to put stuff up as fast as I can so you can work ahead if you want to. So there is some chance you might be able to finish this class early if you have other things to worry about. Anyway, this is what the new schedule looks like. I'm just going to explain this coming week, and then you should be able to figure out the rest of the weeks. Your reading for this week is the Carolina Reader, all of Chapter 8. I never assign a whole chapter, but it's a really good chapter. You'll listen to the lecture that I'm doing now. You'll listen to a lecture, not really a lecture, a tutorial how to use the discussion board, same for ILP4, and then another one I'll do about incorporating quotations into your work. You'll also still get just the plain slides so that every time you need to reference something, you don't have to go back and listen to me talk. I think I've told you guys this before, but I truly hate the sound of my own voice. So I'm not loving doing this, but I trust you guys not to be sitting in your houses making fun of me, I guess. All right. So you'll do that. Your assignment, ILP4. ILP4 is very easy. I'll be making a video in a few minutes explaining how to do it. And then you'll post to the discussion board. It seems simple. I do expect you to take it seriously, but a lot of your classes are going to be significantly harder right now, so I'm fine with being the class that you don't have to worry about. And that's okay with me. And I actually hope that helps you guys a lot. And so this is the rest of it. Eventually we'll do peer review. That'll be a little bit harder to organize, but we'll figure it out. And then there are new assignment instructions. They're basically the same as they were before. They're just more simplified. So if you have weekly assignments, there'll be a box on Blackboard, just like there always is. Peer review, I'm going to assign you a partner. Discussion boards will be on Blackboard. Lectures, I think I'll just be emailing you the file, but I may be able to figure out how to set up a YouTube channel, which is deeply embarrassing to me, but we'll do it. And there's new stuff for the major writing assignments. Basically, the only difference for the paper proposal and annotated bibliography is that you don't have to add those extra 2 sources to make 8 anymore. And you don't need to revise it unless you want to get a higher grade. That's the major difference. There's also the difference of, you remember those like required types of sources? You don't have to have that in your proposal anymore. You do have to have it still in your paper, and so I've moved it down. But you don't have to have it in your annotated bibliography. I don't want you worrying about anything you did before the disaster. Just worry about going forward. So researched argumentative essay, that's the thing you do. You see I have changed the requirements a little bit, 1,200 to 1,500 words. Thesis statement, you still have to use 8 sources. That's all the same. That's all the same as well, just shorter. And then I have the types of sources. So you still do have to have 2 scholarly peer-reviewed articles, 2 contemporary credible newspapers or websites, a cartoon or image, and a video or audio source. You do still have to have all of that in your works cited page for the paper. You just don't have to have annotated all of that anymore. And then I put the example outline there again. And then the public turn is going to be basically a creative project where you take your thesis from your research paper and you put it in a format that's more creative, that changes the audience. It explains it all here, and we'll talk about it more later. But basically, some people like to make YouTube videos, or last time I taught this, Vine was really popular. People like to make Vines. Children's books, short stories. You can write me a poem. You can make a little film. You can write a song. Some people do interpretive dances. I've never had one in my class, but they've been successful in some of my colleagues' classes. Basically, just a very short creative thing that gets your thesis across that can be effectively graded and looked at in 3 to 5 minutes. It doesn't have any formatting rules. It's entirely creative. And then afterward, you'll write me a 500-word reflection telling me why you made the rhetorical choices you did. And then the portfolio, I haven't heard from the department about what's going on with the portfolio yet. I will let you know. But I do expect that at least the revisions are going to be made optional in my class. All right? So that's everything. Feel free to group me, email, whatever, if you have questions. If you just want to call me, that doesn't bother me. We'll set up like a Google Hangout so that we don't have to exchange numbers for your privacy. But let me know. I don't care. I'd love to talk to you guys. I already miss you, and it's been, I don't know, 3 days. All right, that's it. Gonna turn this off now.